on now. What's happening? Once again, it's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Episode 420. For all you grass smokers out there. Episode 420. Whatever that means. I hope everybody's well. A rare Wednesday show. Concrete Burial, what's up? Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Fire it up, I guess, if that's your thing. I hope everybody's well. Spring seems to be here somewhat. We have survived the brutal Arctic winter of New York City and the surrounding areas. So fall, is that right? Speaking of wait, hold on. False spring. Speaking of this fake and phony world, ladies and gentlemen, Lori Dawn. Hi.
Hi. This is definitely false spring. I don't trust it at all. Nope. I don't trust it at all. There's still snowflakes on the horizon.
Anything's better than that there was that stretch that it was like everything every time you go out, you're like risking your life. Every time you go out, like you could die out there.
Yeah, brutal weather. I finally went out for a walk yesterday though, and I had to look. I mean, it was like a bomb hit my neighborhood. I haven't been out walking since that big giant snowstorm that ripped through. So crazy.
I should. You know what? This is funny. Let me find this. There's right on my corner where I live. There's a big. Yeah. All right. This is still there. Get a load. This is some New York City. This is some New York City stuff, folks. Here you go. This is what's on my corner. Even though it's warm, it's like warm again, and kind of everything is melted. This is what's sitting on my corner. Get a load of this.
A big giant. What's this? We're dying to know. Yeah. Dirty snow pile.
A pile of dirty
pile.
Ugh.
Yeah, disgusting.
And dogs just pee on it and
sad.
And make the crapas on it, and it's just this disgusting.
I know.
It's like something it looks like a villain out of Star Trek or something.
Snow has like these phases of life. Like it starts out so fresh and beautiful,
right?
And so majestic, and then it turns into just a dirty ass snow pile.
Yeah, that's what's going on here.
That's my life.
Dino droppings, yeah, kinda. Yep. MTB. Marcelli, hello from Chile, my New York friend, hardcore. Well, hello, shouting out all our friends in Chile.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mountain of filth.
Right.
This one's called Mountain of Filth. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
What's up, Drew and crew? Hey, Lori, hope all are well.
Yes, we are all well. I survived. I actually survived the DMV yesterday. Went to go renew my license.
There's a lot of that going around right now.
Renew my license, and now it's very civilized. I haven't done that in like 10 years. Now you can like make an appointment.
Yeah.
You only wait like 20 minutes. They let you get they give you 2 shots now with the photos. So if it comes out bad the first time, you get like the second shot.
You women have really changed the system, haven't you?
Yeah.
Because guys don't give a flying fuck.
So I get up there to the blue screen and it takes a shot, and I see my big dumb face, and I'm like, no, I got to do that over. Let me try it again. Shoulders back. I'm ready this time. Blah blah blah. They take the second photo. Not a single molecule of my face has changed.
Right.
So that's just it's just my big dumb face.
Good question, RS. Do parking rules still count in a blizzard? Actually, here in New York City, they suspend alternate side of the street parking. And during this whole blizzard, it was literally suspended like almost 3 weeks. So the cars just sit there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lori Dawn, License to Kill. Hey, I just want to let everybody know that Friday, day after tomorrow, I am moderating the Chris Wren Fenway Punk Book Event. The location has been changed. It is now Generation Records. The event is from 6 to 8. And I am imploring, that you come down and support Chris Wren. I'll be there. It's at Generation Records at 6 o'clock this Friday.
Yes, and I highly recommend this book. Yankee fans, I'm a Yankee fan. I love this book. He built his empire on Yankee hate to fund your favorite hardcore bands. So
yeah, it's a great book.
It's a great book.
So come out.
Great read.
If you're even considering it, come out.
Yep.
I swear to God, you fucking better come out. If you don't fucking come out, I swear to God,
I'm like hoping this book gets turned into some kind of a screenplay. You know, with all those weird, crazy characters running around and everything, you know, selling the bumper stickers and they're being chased by the cops and, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Black and blue lineup is awesome. You know what's even more awesome? That on the second day of the black and blue, where is that?
Where is it?
Where is that? Jesus, there's a lot going on.
Did we not put it in?
There it is.
Oh, there it is. Go back.
Hey, wow, Black and Blue Bowl is awesome. But hey, Saturday, May 23rd in Tompkins Square Park, Mephistopheles Incendiary Device, The Phoenix Within, and Starcar. So come through the park, see a couple great bands on your way to the Black and Blue Bowl.
Yes.
So there you go.
Plenty of time to do both.
Yeah. Hey, you, what's going on? Yeah.
Okay, so we finally announced some of our artists at our artisan market up in Beverly, and that is Chris Wren's place. At Bridge 9 Records, we're having this art event. We've got a couple of artists now announced. We're looking for about 3 more. So if anybody is an artist in the area and can run their own table, you know, let me know. Contact me at Women of the Pit, and we'll see if we can get you in there. That's on Record Store Day. It's going to be a great day out. And, you know, these things.
Record Store Day.
On, yeah, Record Store Day. April 18th. Saturday, April 18th at Bridge 9. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And just a heads up here in New York City, Saturday night, Minty Fresh has a show with Shutdown and Silence Equals Death on Saturday, March 14th. And then, of course, this Sunday, we are back in the birthplace of New York hardcore at Niagara, now known as, well, A7, now known as Niagara. So that's happening this Sunday.
Yeah.
So there
you got a little history going on there with the Long Wait and Jamie.
That's true. Jamie from the, well, interestingly enough, Why Die from Philly's playing, and they played the A7 in like 83. And The Long Wait is playing with Jamie, who was in SSD. And of course, SSD Control played the A7 in 82 and all that. So this is sort of rare. There's a couple a couple of veterans. I won't be the only one in the room that played the place.
Yeah.
It's usually like me and Vinny Stigma.
Yeah.
So
very cool. Cool stuff coming up.
All right. Very cool. Let's get it on, and I'll see you in a bit.
Okay.
All right. That's what's up. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. You've arrived on 420. We are sponsored by the Texas Silver Rush, DTF and Vinyl Distro, Generation Records, Woman of the Pit, She Devils, Coven, Minty Fresh, and 126 Hardcore Clothing. They're a streetwear brand for restless individuals who don't compromise. They're about being positive, spontaneous, and true to yourself. For years, they experimented with several printing methods and materials and collaborated with a large number of designers and illustrators, always giving room for fresh perspectives while retaining the hardcore attitude. Get in touch with them and ramp up your game at www.126clothing.com. That said, everybody okay in the chat room? Everybody good? Yeah, we should reenact that photo. Good. Let's get it on. Let's bring our guest on. Let's clear the deck and away and away we go. Today's guest is an American drummer hailing from New York City. In his incredibly proficient career, he's known for his work with the bands The Beautiful, Love Spit Love, the Psychedelic Furs, the Compulsions, the Dead Daisies, Pssr, and of course, as their longest tenured drummer, Guns N' Roses. Please welcome, coming at us from the Garden State of New Jersey, the Thunder Chucker, Mr. Frank Ferrer. Hey, man.
What's up, guys? What's up, Drew?
Good to see you, buddy.
Thank you for having me here on the Chronicles, man. This is pretty awesome.
I'm excited. I'm really excited that you're on. I'm not just saying that. I really am.
Honor to be on here with you, man. You're a heavy. The podcast is amazing. It's an honor, man. Thank you for having me, man. Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. We're going to get into some stuff that is near and dear to my heart.
Good.
So that said, let's bounce the ball back and forth a little bit.
Sure.
And let's have some fun with it. How did you come up? Did you grow up in a musical household? How did music come into your life?
Music was huge in my home. So my dad came from Cuba in 1955. And then my mom followed after. They got out before Castro happened, so it wasn't a political thing. My father actually came out here to work and make some money and build a home back in Cuba, you know. My father was a Latin percussionist, not a professional one. He tried to be, but not a professional one. So there was always music and rhythms in my house. My father was always playing finger boogie, you know, with a knife and a glass, and there was always music going on. But and my older sister Flora loved music. She was the one that used to bring music home all the time. So my family was musical, but not musical at the same time. Again, my parents were immigrants, so you know it wasn't really like very supportive that I wanted to be a musician. You know, my older sister Flora became like a lawyer. And my younger sister Hilda became an executive at a record company and stuff like that. So where
did you grow up in New York City?
I grew up in Chelsea.
Oh wow!
Yeah, right on 16th and 9th Avenues. And my mom still lives in the same apartment I grew up in. She's 95. Yeah, yeah. So I grew up in New York City.
16th and 9th. I could totally picture it.
Yeah. So you grew up in New York City. So back in the 70s, Chelsea was a poor Latino neighborhood.
That's right.
That's why all the clubs were in that neighborhood, because it was a poor Latino neighborhood. So you had 1018, which became the Roxy. You had the Limelight. You had Snafu. You had everything. You know.
I remember I dated a gal whose dad was a co-owner of Kamikaze. That was on. Remember Kamikaze? It was like on way on the way. Like,
dude, we were trying to remember the name of the club the other day. Kamikaze.
Yeah,
Kamikaze. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
But,
and then they put the marquee there for a minute. Remember the marquee was up there for a minute, you know?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And interestingly enough, I talked to John Lydon about it because he used to live like have a loft in like, I don't know if it was above the club or whatever, but he lived right there.
No way.
And we connected over that because we were talking about old New York. And I said, you know, for some reason, I remember seeing him over there, like in that area. And I mentioned, he goes, "Yeah, I used to live right there." And I said, "Yo,
what year did he live there? What years?"
Oh, like the Pill years. He had a place there.
Oh man, I had no idea, man. I met him for the first time a few months ago. I wish I would have known that. I would have mentioned it. But
So Chelsea, wow.
Yeah, I grew up in Chelsea. Yeah.
Wow.
So and everything was walking distance in Chelsea. You know that. I mean, you know, you could walk to Madison Square Garden. I used to walk to the Garden to see shows. Limelight. Could walk to CB's from there. You know.
Sure.
So yeah.
Astoria Lou says that's the block of the old High Line, and that club Racket is right there now.
Yeah. High Line is still there. High Line. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I don't know if it's called High Line, but that club is still there for sure.
Yeah. So, so that said, So. Wow, you grew up right there. That's incredible.
Yeah. It was and Chelsea back then was a little town, because if I walked around the neighborhood, like my father would come home. He's like, "Oh, I heard you were on 17th and 9th yesterday, or you were why were you on 15th and 6th Avenue earlier in the day?" Like it was literally a town, and you know, you can walk down to 8th Avenue and 16th Street, and on the corner there's a bank there now by the train station was Riquito's bar, and then the barbershop on 18th Street, and then Oneida's Bakery on 17th Street. It was a little town, dude. It was awesome growing up there. I mean, there was drugs, right? There was poor people and drugs, but it wasn't violent. They weren't killing you there, you know. It wasn't. There was no violence, you know.
Yeah, Jeannie DeSoto says you couldn't hide. No, you really couldn't. You couldn't back then.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So how did what was the first music that sort of came across your radar screen was Latin stuff? Tito Puente,
Celia Cruz, you know, Willie Colon just passed away. The 70s, you know, Fania, All Stars, all that stuff was big in my home.
And this was great. And this was great New York stuff because they played New York all the time.
Dude, they will play Madison Square Garden. They will play,
Yeah,
and the Ritz. They will play the Ritz all the time too. You know, and the Felt Forum back then. They had the Felt Forum. And then they will also play like free shows. Like I seen Tito Puente like 3 or 4 times at free shows, you know, and not even have to pay. I saw him one time at Lincoln Center. I saw him one time at this. Remember when they used to have that weird convention place, like by what was it? Columbus Circle. They used to be like this weird convention hall.
Oh no,
there.
that was the what was it? I think Nirvana played there. It was the
oh no way.
The old, what was it? Yeah, they tore it down. It was the expo, like the expo center.
Exactly. Right. I've seen it. Right.
They tore that down when they built the Javits Center. Basically, it was there a little. It was there after, but
I didn't know Nirvana played there.
I believe Nirvana.
Wow. That sounds right. Because remember, bands were playing all those weird gigs back then. Like I saw Soundgarden at the Armory. Remember that? Remember the Armory at 27?
I saw that show.
Yeah, they were trying to find weird
the sound was terrible.
And it was like a 99 degrees in there. I know.
What was the place in Columbus Circle called? Was it the convention center? Oh, that's right. The New York Coliseum.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
It was the New York Coliseum.
Yeah.
And I do think Nirvana actually played there. But
no, I think you're right. I think that sounds super familiar. I think you're right. But but they will have like these like an expo, and there'll be like a Latin one, and I saw Tito Puente in there. You know, you know, these guys will play for free shows all the time, all over the city. You know.
Sure. And so what was the first, as a young person, other than that, music that kind of came across your radar screen that you felt, hey, this is my music?
Absolutely. I've told the story before. So we had a babysitter when I was little. She lived in the building, and she was a huge Elvis Presley fan. So like the first rock and roll music I ever heard in my life was like 50s Elvis kind of music, which, you know, I mean, it was different. The 430 movie, they will have Elvis Week. Remember on the 430 movie? You know? So my first introduction to like American music was like Elvis, you know. Other than that, it was all Latin music. Every once in a while, my sister be able to tune into like an AM station, you know, and they'll be like, you know, stuff like, you know, The Night That Chicago Died, or those kind of songs, you know.
Right. I love that stuff now, man. I do. I love that stuff now.
Yes. It was scary, dude. When you're like a little kid and you're hearing about the fires and
Paper Lace, The Night Chicago Died.
Yeah, exactly.
Brother, what a night it really was. Brother, what a fight it really was. Oh yeah, that's all I'm like, I went on a deep dive. That's all I listened to lately.
Wow. Yeah, it was like the AM stuff, you know. And again, you know, none of that stuff caught my attention. None of it.
Right.
My sister Flora, who's an awesome person, she would listen to all the top 40 stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
She brought home 45s, right? Like little 45s of the top 40 songs.
Sure.
One day, she brought home Bohemian Rhapsody. I still have Queen. I still have the single. Wow. And she played it, and something hit me, dude. Like I was like in my, I don't know how to describe it, but it sounded like, aliens from outer space just landed in my eardrums. I didn't know what they were doing. I didn't know what that sound was, but I was just drawn into it. And I will play that over and over again.
Sure.
Because the lyrics too about like mama, I'm a mama's boy. So mama just killed a man, all the lyrics, everything had me fascinated. Sure. I'm about 8 years old or around this time, 8 or 9. Mm-hmm. And then you flip, and I was like, what else is the other side? I'm in love with my car. I mean, my mind was blown, like a man in love with his car. What the hell is going on here? So that was the first modern, 1974, 75, whenever it was. That's the first modern rock track I ever listened to in my life was Bohemian Rhapsody,
Right.
Around this time, somewhere I saw a picture of Kiss. And in my little brain, I was like, that crazy looking band must have played that crazy sounding song. So I thought that Kiss actually sang Bohemian Rhapsody.
Well, you kind of feel there is a bit of a connection there in that era. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the way they looked and the way that record sounded, like that guy looks like he killed a man. Like Gene Simmons looked like he killed, sure. Like Gene Simmons looked like he killed a man. They must have, eventually, down the road, I realized it wasn't the same band, all this kind of stuff. And I fell in love with rock music then. I became a huge Kiss fan, was like the first thing. The first rock band that I latched onto was Kiss, even though I loved Queen, man, I love Queen, but Kiss is the one that got me like,
Is it true your dad brought you to the Garden to see Kiss?
My dad, who didn't speak one word of English.
Wow.
Not one word. I asked him if we could go see a show. Like, I don't know if I even said the word Kiss. I was like, there's a show at Madison Square Garden I'd like to go see. And my dad said, yeah. Like, what possessed him to say yeah? And he said yes. And he took my sister and my older sister and I, Flora and my dad, and took us to go see Kiss. It was December. There's actually an 8mm film of it on YouTube. You can see it's like December 15th at Madison Square Garden, 1977. So wow. I got to see. And the opening band was Detective with Michael DeBarris.
Our pal Michael DeBar.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, he's great. Nice guy.
So that was So I go there, see the show, my mind is blown. That's what I want to do. Now, believe me, I'm at this point I'm 10 or 11. I have no idea what they're doing. But I was going to do that, and they were, they're this big from where I'm sitting. I'm like, I'm doing that what those little guys are doing,
But they were like superheroes. Yeah.
I can't put it into words, but it was, well, let's put it this way. You and I are speaking right now, today, 45 years later, or however how long it's been.
Yeah.
Because my dad took me to go see that show.
I love hearing stories like that. Like your dad was supportive, and your dad brought you there, and your dad. It's great. It was. He might not have understood it, but he brought
so let me correct you there. I wouldn't exactly use the word supportive. Like, you got to imagine now. This is like a 45-year-old Latino man. Yeah. In a place where like half the people are dressed in makeup and hair, and there's pot smoke everywhere. Everybody's high. Sure. Like, he wasn't too thrilled when we left the show. He wasn't too thrilled about it. And then later on, when I'm like, I want to play music, he was like, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. You're not playing music. He didn't say you're not playing music, but he wasn't like thrilled, about it.
I have a clip. I want to play this clip. I like it. Let me play this clip real quick.
Drums. Around the age of 14, my father was a Latin percussionist, so there was always percussion in the house, timbales, congas, bongos, and stuff. And I first heard rock music. My sister had brought home 45 of Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody. And for some strange reason, I thought that Kiss was Queen, because Kiss looked like a band that would play that kind of song. So I saw Kiss on TV one time, so I asked my dad if I could go see it. They were playing Madison Square Garden in December of '77. And my dad said yes, surprisingly. And we went and saw the band, and that was when I knew I fell in love with music that night. I was 11 years old. But I took naturally to drums. So I sat behind a full drum kit when I was about 14 years old. Got my first drum set around Christmas of 79 or 80 or something like that. And I've been playing since then.
So, yeah, I thought that was a pretty.
Yeah, I haven't seen
clip.
that in a while.
Good clip. Hey, who was Mr. Gomez, and how did he fit into the picture?
I can't believe you're talking about Mr. Gomez. He's great.
Yeah.
So Mr. Gomez is great. So, in my school, so I went to school at St. Francis Xavier, the grammar school. You know, they had the high school on 16th Street. I went to the grammar school that was on 17th Street.
Yeah.
So Mr. Gomez was the choir. What do you call it? The choir leader, the choir master. I can't think of the word right now.
Yeah.
But the choir was pretty popular around the city. Later on, he called it the New York City Youth Chorus. You know, and they were holding auditions at my school. You know, so this is around the same time. So I'm like, I want to do music. You know, so. Let me try singing. I'll go into the choir and audition. So Mr. Gomez brings me in. I'm him. It's just him and I. He's playing stuff on the piano, and he's like, "Sing this note, sing that note," and I'm like, you know, I'm terrible.
Yeah. All right.
Mr. Gomez kind of looks at me and kind of shrugs his shoulders, like, "You're not a really good singer." You know, he goes, "Do you do anything else?" And dude, and literally, I just. Out of the top of my head, I was like, well, my father, I didn't even say I play bongos. I was like, my father has some bongos at the house. Mr. Gomez goes like, bring the bongos in tomorrow. Bring them in tomorrow. So again, and like I was saying earlier, my dad didn't really want me to play music. So I kind of snuck the bongos out of the house, you know, and I bring it to school the next day, you know, and I sit down with Mr. Gomez, and Mr. Gomez starts playing like these gospel riffs. And he's like, you know, what would you play to this? And I start breaking out some patterns, some rhythms, you know. Again, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just playing from the heart. He's not telling me what to play. And I work on a couple of rhythms. He's like, try something else on that, and then I get a couple of more rhythms. And he goes, okay, you're the New York City Youth Chorus percussionist, and that was it. And that's awesome. Just started playing with the New York City Youth Chorus, but as the percussionist, you know. And I say this all the time. I say this to any teacher, if I ever meet a teacher. I have so much love and respect for teachers because they could. I mean, Mr. Gomez put me on my path, man. He showed me. My dad inspired me, right, taking me to that show. But the road Mr. Gomez put me on, because he saw something in me that nobody on the planet Earth saw. No one. I mean, my mom, my dad, my sisters. When I looked in the mirror, I didn't see it, but he saw something. You know, that's why I have tremendous love and respect for teachers. You know,
and I just love that it happened right here in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And is it true that Mr. Gomez actually got a chance to come to Madison Square Garden and see you play with GNR? Yeah.
When we did those dates in 17, I think it was, we played 3 nights in Madison Square Garden. And you know, he's a gospel R&B guy. He hates rock music. So he came to the show though, but he stayed only half the show. You know, that's great. But he came to the show. You know, yes, that was him.
Stephen, is that the pictures you sent me from 2000? Was it 16 or 17? GNR played the Garden.
I think it was 17.
These are from. This is from Stephen Messina, one of our residents.
So Guns actually played Madison Square Garden, like the Chinese democracy version of Guns. That's one of the shows. I wore my Larry Johnson Knicks jersey the other too.
Wow.
My LJ.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one, LJ.
Yeah, he's my man. I love LJ. Grandmama. Gus actually played Madison Square Garden in 2006. Like the Chinese democracy version of Guns, you know?
Yeah.
With DJ Ashbum and Bumblefoot and stuff like that. So we actually played it once in 2006. But like the big one with like Slash and Duff and everybody was in 17.
Yeah, that's Steven sent these to me. Here's another one with you and Duff. Yeah. And I couldn't help but notice what's his name on keyboards? Not Chris Pittman.
Dizzy
Reed.
Yeah.
Keyboardists get to stand there with and get away with having massive cheat sheet right in front of them, and they could just read off it. Nobody ever.
Oh yeah, no, that's Melissa, right? That's Melissa.
Nobody ever questions that.
Right.
It's one of the fringe benefits of being the keyboard player. Yeah.
It's true. It's true. That picture was actually Melissa Reese.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, at what point did you kind of settle in with a drum set and start playing locally in New York? And what other trap kit drummers inspired you?
So I didn't get behind a full. So remember, I was playing like bongos and stuff like that. A little bit of congas. I wouldn't consider myself like a Latin percussionist. I mean, I could fake it, but not like I'm not hardcore. Right. Like those guys are insane musicians. But I didn't sit behind a drum set until I was about 14 years old, which is kind of late for a drummer, you know. Mm-hmm. And what had happened was, I was trying to play guitar and stuff, and me and my buddies got this little thing going, this little group. We just rehearsed in my room, you know. I wouldn't even call it a group. It was just 5 of us trying to like pretend we're in a rock and roll band. And the drummer, his name was Jose Maldonado. I'll never forget his name. The drummer brought his drum set over, and we were trying to figure out stuff. And somehow I had just a natural feel of like what sounded like what, you know. I'm like, I think the drummer's doing something like this, you know. So I knew in my heart that I had already a natural thing for rhythm in the drums, you know. Sure. When I started getting like really serious about drumming, I was about 14, 15, you know. And then I played my first pro gig. I made $20, but I played my first pro gig when I was about 17 or 18. So like in 3 years, I got pretty good, but again, you know, I always had a great sense of rhythm since I was like a small child. So, you know, I had a little bit of head start.
Where did a young person practice drums living down there in Chelsea? Was it? I mean, also, I kind of know because growing up in New York, there was 30th Street had all those rehearsal and some of them were like $5 an hour.
Yeah.
Some of them were real dumps too.
Yeah. They're still there, right? A lot of them are still there.
But that building's gone.
Oh, no way. Oh, it is. No, you're right. I did walk by it. It is gone. You're right. You're right.
Or they got everybody out. It was like Ultrasound, Prince Studio.
Right.
Everybody that was in
there.
You
had that music store like a.
Yeah, that's right. Night Owl Music.
Right. Yeah. And then
I think the music building is still there on 8th Avenue though.
That's the one that we used to play at all the time. Yeah. The one by Port Authority. That's right. The one we
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So it's funny that you say that. So again, you know, this is the shape of this is what New York is an amazing place, and it's an amazing thing. When you were really young in the 70s and the 80s, New York was great.
That's right.
So everybody in my building was working class. So most of the time, like all the adults wouldn't be back in the building till about 5 o'clock. So I literally would play in my room.
That's awesome.
What I would do is literally run home from school, run straight home, and I could get like a good solid hour and a half in, you know.
Yeah.
Before people started like banging on the radiators and stuff like that.
Did you like dull the cymbals and like put a towel on the snare? No.
Well, mind you, now I got like crack cymbals and stuff like that. I mean, it's not like a pro, you know what I'm saying? I've got crack cymbals, you know. I'm playing with like duct tape sticks and stuff like that, you know. And then what I would do when I became familiar with a lot of the rehearsal spaces in New York City, I would show up like 20 minutes, half hour early to rehearsals. And most places let you in. If there's not a band rehearsing, most places will let you in. I'd be like, oh, I got a 3 o'clock rehearsal and you're there at 2:30. Like, oh, you're in room A. So you could walk in and get practice. But 90% of the time, the only time I really got to practice was when I was rehearsing with a band. You know?
Sure.
90% of the time.
Yeah.
But I would play. I would try to play. I would try to get in like 2 hours before, like, you know, everybody started banging on the walls and stuff like that. You know?
And when you were a young person, and we're making our way to sort of the beautiful, but when you were just in those sort of embryonic days, what drummers inspired you? Was there anybody that sort of any peers or whose style sort of really lit you up?
Well, the drummers that I loved growing up, well, obviously Peter Criss was my first thing. Roger Taylor, Bunny Carlos, Charlie Watts, and then again, being in New York City, man, some of the greatest drummers on the planet were my peers. Sterling Campbell. Right, goes on to play with Bowie, and
Zach too, right?
Zach Alford, who's in the Psychedelic verse now. A lot of guys that didn't make it, this kid Pete Basso. A lot of guys that didn't make it, but they were like slamming drummers. Right. And then what I started doing was to get to see these drummers, number one, and to get into shows, I started carrying other people's drum kits. Right. So I carried a bunch of like the local bands, kids. I would just be like, hey man, you need a hand with that trap case, and like yeah, and I would help them bring it in, and then I would just hang out until the show started, and I did a lot of that,
Yeah, and didn't you kind of connect with jazz drummer Tommy Campbell that way?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I connected with him. He was trading me lessons for roading, basically.
That's awesome. That's a good deal.
It was a good deal. I did it a couple of times, and then I went on to other things because he's a jazz player and a killer player. But I wanted to rock, dude. I wanted to see some rock guys,
Yeah, 100%. Was The Beautiful sort of the first band that you were in that really had some national exposure, and so tell us how this band came to be.
Do you remember CC and Star, that clothing store? Do you remember that at all?
Yeah, of course.
He had a cable.
Was that vintage, like vintage, like not vintage, but he made clothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I remember this.
So I'm kicking around. I'm playing with every band that I could play in New York City. I'm playing with everybody. I didn't say no to any band. Reggae, pop, punk, anything. Anything. I play with Bobby Steele. What was Bobby Steele's band? The
Undead.
The Undead. I played with him for a little bit. Yeah, we didn't play any gigs, but I played with him. I didn't get to do a gig with him, but I played with him.
Frankie was in the Undead. That's rich.
So this guy CC Star, he had do you remember Nirvana Club 1? It was in the Times. What was it? The New York Times building, that triangle building in New York City. Yep. He had a Monday night. And since he had the cable access TV show, a lot of bands will play that show. I started playing drums with him. He needed a drummer every Monday night, Sometimes he would have other guys play, but I did most of those nights, And all these bands would play. And at the time, The Beautiful was on MTV. Remember when they had the Basement Tape Awards or something like that? And it was like, if you had a basement tape video and they would play it and then people could call in and vote on it. Sure. They were one of the finalists. They were called Nasty Habits before. And they played one of CC Star's Monday nights. And I was playing with CC Star. Mm-hmm. And we connected that day. I watched them. They were slamming. And then I played and they watched me, and we started to talk, and they were like, hey, our drummer's going to bounce. Do you want to come and play? And I was like, yeah, let's play, I knew though. When I saw them, I knew. I was like, Jonathan, the guitar player, Jonathan Lacey, was special. Great player, looked wicked, Texas version of Johnny Thunders, the redhead guy on the picture, the redhead.
I've got a good, Jonathan Lacey shot. I actually messaged him back and forth the other day.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he was. He definitely was. Here's a shot. This is in the Limelight era, but this.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great picture. Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah.
So he was charismatic.
Yeah, he was great. Yeah, great front man, great singer, great songwriter. Yeah, it was the first band that got put on, that I was in, that got put on, you know. So
And
yeah, special.
I actually lifted this off the Beautiful Facebook page. You guys got out there, and you guys, this is the tour, one of the tours you did, and these are like his. I guess this is his handwriting.
That's actually my handwriting.
Oh,
and if you see that July 24th St. Louis gig, Mississippi Nights, that's the night I met Richard Fortus. My band, The Beautiful, opened up for Richard Fortus's band that night.
Wow,
that's the night I met Richard Fortus.
That's great, and of course, just to connect the dots right here, that's when you met Richard Fortus, who later brought you into Love Spit Love,
exactly,
which sort of segued into you playing with the Psychedelic Furs. Exactly. And then, of course, he went to Guns N' Roses, and then him and Tommy Stinson put your name in the hat when the time came.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
And I was just sort of tripping out on some of these places, like in Hollywood, the Coconut Teaser. Like that.
I know.
That was the joint back then for a traveling a traveling band.
Coconut Teaser, a Raji's.
I don't know that one.
Yeah. You know the inside cover of Nirvana's Bleach.
Yes.
That place, Raji's in LA. That got destroyed in the earthquake. That place.
You know, when I think of the Beautiful, and I think of sort of the circuit that we used to play, that would bring us into the limelight a lot of the time. Yeah, and I remember seeing the Beautiful at the Limelight.
Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah, and I love Broomhilda's on this bill. They were close friends of mine. Laz plays in Il Nino now. Yeah,
I knew Laz really well.
Yeah. And
Il Nino. He's doing Il Nino now, Laz.
That's right. He's in Il Nino. That's right. Yeah. It's a nice story. He hung in there and he got the call, man.
Yeah, man.
He got the call, and I just want to say, everybody out there, you know, we talk about the Limelight every now and then, but here's kind of the view from the stage at the Limelight. Now, this isn't packed, but this was kind of a cool. Limelight was a very cool venue. There was a couple of levels, and it was a great place to play.
Yeah. Guns played there. Guns played the Limelight. The Limelight was a great. I mean, I saw Marilyn right before the Limelight closed. I saw Marilyn Manson there, White Zombie, Skinny. I saw Skinny Puppy there, Manowar. I seen Ace Frehley there, and then Gene and Paul came down and played with him. I saw Eddie Van Halen come out and play with somebody there. I saw Pearl Jam there, and you know, we were part of that. The Beautiful, Antidote. You know, we played the Limelight many times. Yeah, that's great, dude.
Yeah, those were really,
that was a great Sunday nights, right? Sunday night church. Great.
Sunday nights, and here I just this is me in the Limelight era when I had a nice full head of hair back in the day.
Dude, that jacket is slamming, bro. Fringe denim. Denim.
Talk about passion. I hand stitched every leather fringe. I cut the fringes off a leather jacket and hand stitched everyone onto the denim jacket.
That's great, dude. I love tricking out. I love tricking out. That's great, dude.
That's the passion. Yeah. That's the passion that we.
So I'll tell you a quick story. So remember, I was just saying earlier that my dad wasn't really into me doing music. My mom was my number one fan.
Aww.
And she was a seamstress. So we'll watch like something on MTV, and I'll be like, "Hey, could you make me something that looked like that?" And she'd be like, "Yeah, I could try." So she'll make me something that looked like that, but it'd be cooler because you couldn't get it anywhere, and it was just off enough where it was like perfect, you know. Yeah. So I'm a big fan of that too, of making your own stuff. You know, it's great.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, it's great.
And you know, I think something could be said for. I mean, I think back on that, like those late '80s, early '90s. New York was such an incredibly vibrant place for music. I mean, I look back at my my diary, my log. Yo, we were playing like 3 times, 4 times a week. It was crazy.
Yeah, you could play everywhere, man.
Yeah, playing.
There was a gig it wasn't that thing back then when you're like, oh, you can't play a show for 3 weeks because you're playing that. Nah, man, you
forget it.
and you could brownies, and then you could play every night if you were willing to lug gear. You could play every night. I know
there was places all over
under Acme. I used to love playing under Acme, man. And because they feed you, you get to eat like your Cajun food and then play the gig,
Oh, there was like Limelight, Lismar Lounge, Woody's.
Yeah.
And then the ones you mentioned on the west side, Zone DK, and there was
the Rock 1018, Roxy
1018, Mars.
Mars. Remember the Marquee was there. Remember they had a Marquee there for a minute.
Sure.
I saw Soul Asylum in there. What was that? Fire hose in there.
Oh, you know what I saw on the Marquee that was it? Yeah, the Marquee that was fucking great. Heartbreakers reunion. Johnny Thunders and the Heartbreakers reunion.
I hate you, bro. I hate you.
We went. We were excited. We got very, very close, and it was all right there. And they were great.
Was Nolan on drums? Nolan playing drums? Oh, I hate you, dude. I love
it. It was great.
That's my favorite drummer right now is Jerry Nolan.
They were great.
So all I think about is Nolan, bro.
I think we both probably saw them later or Johnny later, but this was one of those reunion shows where they came out on point, and it was they were friggin' great.
Yeah, good for you, man. That's great, dude.
And I will say once again, the unsung hero in that group, the real secret weapon was Walter Lure. He was really, to me, he was the guy. He was awesome.
Yeah. Duff and I went and saw the LAMF show in LA when Walter Lure played. He had Slaughter the Dog Guys with him. It was great. Did you see the one with Clem Burke and Stinson?
Yeah. I saw that here. I think Jesse played. It was at Jesse's place.
Yeah.
I think was Mike Ness in that?
Yeah. Social Distortion was on that gig. Mike Ness. Yeah. I would have loved to have seen that though, but I saw that tour, but in LA.
Want to shout out our old friend Ryan Bland says I met Frank during that era in the LES. Miss you, brother.
Oh yeah, he's
Ryan
great.
Bland.
Right? Yeah. What's up, man? Oh, it's nice to see you, bro.
Good.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy. Ryan's a great guy. Great guy.
Man. Good dude. Yeah. I love that guy.
He had a wicked mohawk.
Yeah. So how did the hand tell us how did the hand with the Beautiful play out? I think you guys were signed. Was it to Giant Records?
Yeah, Giant Warner Brothers.
And you guys made a run at it. And also, wait, I got to say that one of the lost treasures. My brother directed a music video for the Beautiful for the song "Sins of America," and
that was your brother.
That was my brother.
Yeah, we did it in New Jersey after a gig one night.
No, you did it. Unless there's something on that. Remember, you did it at Riverview Studio, where I was the stage manager in Astoria, Queens. On the set, my father did a commercial, and it was a set of a ledge of a building. Right?
I remember.
This is funny shit.
Holy shit, blowing my mind.
My dad did a commercial for Connecticut Lottery, and the gag was they built this set, and it was like a ledge and a window, and the guy's out on the ledge, and they're saying hey, don't jump. Connecticut Lottery's got a $50 million thing. So what happened was they shot that, I guess, on a Friday, and the set stood there over the weekend. And you guys went in there with my brother and shot over the weekend.
That was your brother?
My brother, Evan Stone.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. My brother, Evan Stone, directed that.
Oh, I had no idea, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I
remember we did it in the middle of the night after a gig. It was we could go over there right now. It was like that vibe. It was we went. Oh, dude, I can't believe that.
Yeah.
That is so amazing, man.
And I talked to Jonathan Lacey about it.
Yeah.
It's sadly one of those videos that nobody has a copy of it, and nobody has a VHS. It's not on YouTube, and there's a couple of some work from that era before the internet or YouTube or whatever. Sadly, there are some great videos and stuff that made it to VHS but never got digitized.
Yeah, digitized, right, digitized.
And another great thing about it is, my brother edited it with my uncle Richie, who was a film editor, who was a director of Michael. He was one of the editors for Michael Jackson Beat It, and
cool,
he also was an editor in the Paul Newman film The Hustler. And so yeah, Sins of America.
We had heavies. I know we had some heavies on that.
I wish
that is such a great. Oh man,
I wish we could see that. Oh man, who's got that out there?
Jonathan was always great at archiving. Always great. So you say he doesn't have a copy of it?
He doesn't. He said to me, "Where is that?" And it's just one. It's just one of those things that, you know, we've kind of found everything else by one way or another on a VHS, or somebody else had it. Right. That one just seems to have fallen through the cracks. And I was the stage manager at that place, Riverview Studio. It's gone in Astoria. And we did a couple of great videos there. Danzig, Danzig cool. Mother was shot there. And,
cool.
A bunch of cool stuff. What's that one? The Pogues Fairy Tale.
I love that song.
What's that called?
Christmas song, right? That song is great. Fairy Tales.
Fairy Tale. What's that?
That's a great song, man. That's a great place. We performed it with Jesse one time, actually, with Jesse.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I'm looking for. Hold on. I think I have the Pogues, right? Where is that? Here it goes. So here you go. This is a shot that I took when I was the stage manager on Riverview Studio.
With Matt Dillon in the video, right? Isn't Matt Dillon in the video?
That's right. He directed it, right?
Oh, did he really? Did he direct it?
Was he in it, or did he do? I don't.
He played a.
No, he didn't direct. He didn't direct it. Here's a shot I took that day. I took the shot.
That's great.
Yeah, I took that shot. No, Matt Dillon was in it. Matt Dillon was in it.
He played a cop in it, so it's just like a black and white video, right?
That's right.
Oh, that's a great song, man.
Anyway, so
that's cool.
Yeah. So how does the Beautiful Hand play out, and what comes next?
Well, Beautiful, typical, it's typical record company, small band, didn't sell a lot of records kind of thing. We put out an EP through them, and then we did a full length album with them, a CD. They didn't make vinyl anymore. We did an album run, and it didn't sell, and they pretty much dropped us. Pretty much, we were like in the middle of a tour. I remember that, and they pretty much dropped us.
Yeah. That's sort of
Oh yeah, there he is. Yo, Jonathan Wiley says he was in it. Matt Dillon was in the video.
Yeah. Is this the EP? Is this
that's the EP?
That's the EP.
Yeah, that's Jonathan. That's Jonathan.
Yeah. Who's still playing music these days?
Yeah, he's still doing it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's that's what he is. He's a musician. That's what he is. Music is his life.
Yeah.
We're lifers. We're lifers, man. Yeah. We keep teasing a beautiful reunion. Keep teasing it. Yeah, that's the EP.
That's the back of the EP.
Yeah.
And Perry's still around?
Perry's still around. Absolutely. Wow. Perry, he's in that Detroit, Michigan area.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's still around. Absolutely.
You guys were cool. You were 3-piece.
Yeah. Power trio.
Yeah, power trio. So the Beautiful kind of winds down.
We wind down. And this would have been like 91 or something.
Sure.
And so my regular day job, I used to be the manager of St. Mark's Leather on St. Mark's Place. Do you remember that? 17 St. Mark's Place?
Yes. Of course.
So I'll tell you the story. We got time. Yeah. After that Beautiful tour, after that one that you put up with the dates on it, and I tell you, I met Fortis on that one date. After that tour, we got dropped. We were on tour, and I called up my old boss, and I was like, "Hey, I'm coming home. We're done." And he was like, "I'll put you on the schedule for Monday." It was like that. And I was like, "Cool." He one day I'm closing the store. This would be like 4 or 5 months later. I'm closing the store in St. Mark's Place, and Richard Fortis walks right by the store, and he looks at me, and I look at him, and I'm like, "Aren't you?" And he's like, "Aren't you?" And we're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, my band got dropped. I work here at the store." And he goes, "I'm in town," because right directly across the street, I mean, I could see the door from the store door. Richard Butler lives in that building and we're writing songs for a new band. And I was like, he goes, you should audition. And I'm like, I would love to audition.
Hell yeah.
And again, this is about a year in the process, because they're just starting a new thing and they're writing songs. And Richard will come into the store. Both Richards will come into the store and just hang out and say hello and stuff like that, And that's how I got to know Richard Butler, through the store, believe it or not. And I knew Fortis, and Fortis and I started hanging out because now he's living in New York City, so we hung out a few times and stuff like that. And then about a year later, they start holding auditions for the drummer for Love Spit Love, and I got the gig. Richard helped me. Both Richards, but Fortis was like, obviously recommended me and pushed for me to get the gig, and I got the gig. We went in and recorded a record with Dave Jordan, who was super hot at the time. He had Dirt. He had Nothing Shocking. He had that PIL record. He had the Clang. He had a gang of stuff. He was huge at the time. So he went into that Love Spit Love record with Dave Jordan.
That's this one, which I got to say, in doing my homework for the show, it was really enjoyable listening to the Love Spit Love stuff.
Yeah, that's a great. It was a pretty good.
Really, I really enjoyed it. Listen, I think part of it is his voice just takes me back to a special place. Yeah. He just has he's a really, really, really special. Yeah. He has a special tone in his voice. For me, it reminds me a little. For me, it's in the world for me of like Liam Gallagher. It's like it brings me to a very special place.
Sure. I looked out. Including Jonathan and obviously Axl Rose and Richard Butler and Eric Jacobson of Pssr. I've gotten to really play with like some really unique singers, which is really special, super special.
Yeah, it must have been exciting to hook up with this crew and go out and support these great records. These are great. Yeah.
Those two records were that was a great time for me. I love playing with Love Spit Love. And in between, whenever we had like time in between stuff, that's about the same time that I started playing with Eric and Richard Fortis in Honky Toast.
Right.
So we would do that during our downtime. We would play with Honky Toast.
And Honky Toast, just to sort of segue, Honky Toast that you started with Richard eventually morphs into Pssr, which you're still kind of doing to this day.
Right. So Honky Toast actually gets a record deal. We actually do a record for Sony. Again, the same story that every band goes through. We did a record, they put it out, it didn't sell, you get dropped. It's like it's the same story over and over again. But yeah, out of the ashes of Honky Toast, Pssr comes up, and Pssr first started. Remember Frank and Orange? Remember that band, Frank and Orange? A New York City band with John Andrews and Matt. That's in. He plays with what's the name of that band? Matt's in that band now. What's it called? I can't remember the name. I have senior moments all the time.
It's okay.
But yeah, they were like a local New York City band, and so Honky Toast was I was left over on Honky Toast. Richard and I go on. We start working the Psychedelic first Reform. So Richard and I are doing the Psychedelic first.
So Richard Butler says, "Hey, if we're reforming, I'm coming in. I want to bring my guys."
Right. So the Tim Butler, the bass player, was actually the bass player on the first Love Spit Love record. So the four of us have had a history already together. But Tim wanted to go do his own things. He didn't really want to do the Love Spit Love thing,
Right.
So then when the whole band, everybody got back together, the Butler brothers brought Richard and I in, and then John Ashton obviously was the original guitar player. So so it was basically the Love Spit Love guys and John Ashton basically. So they get back together around 2000, and we go and do a tour with the B-52s. It was awesome, Zach was playing with the Bees at that time, so it was great. Got to see him.
Sterling Campbell played with them before that.
Sterling Campbell, they were like switching. They were
Switch
like
whoever was available.
Yeah. Because Sterling's still doing Bowie at that time.
Right.
You know, Bowie's still kicking around, you know.
Bowie was was the main call, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's Bowie, dude. You know. So.
Yeah, I saw him play with Bowie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, man. I saw this great video. Somebody posted a video of, because you know Sterling was in Soul Asylum,
right?
And they were doing Dog with Iggy, so it was like
Wow.
the Soul Asylum band with Iggy doing Dog. It was great to see Sterling up there playing that stuff.
You just reminded me. I saw Tin Machine at the World. Remember the World? Remember the World?
The World was great, dude.
Remember that place? Yeah.
Hell yeah, I remember that place.
I saw Tin Machine at the World.
Yeah, that's great, dude.
I saw Big Audio Dynamite at the World. That was great.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, Love Spit Love got to play a gig with Bad at the Beacon Theater. Was one of those Christmas shows. You know?
Right on.
Yeah, it was Bad. Radiohead, Love Spit Love.
I just pulled this from the archive. This is one of mine. September 1st, 1981, when I was going to, I saw the Psychedelic Furs at the Metro. At the Metro in Boston, when I was up there studying acting at Emerson at college. And
I don't remember the Metro. Where was the Metro?
The Metro was right there on Lansdowne Street. It was like I think it might be called something else now. Right. But I saw them in 81. They were great.
Right. Talk, right? Talk record. That one?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure.
And I never got to see the Furs back in the day. I never saw them. I don't know the Metro. I remember the Paradise, right? The Paradise.
Sure, the Paradise.
The Channel, right? The neighborhoods.
The neighborhoods, the outlets. The Channel was torn down. I think the Paradise is still there.
The Paradise. And there was the one of the punk rock club upstairs, like that. It was like in Cambridge or something. It was like their CBGBs, but it was not Streets.
Hold on. Hey, yo, Boston people. What club? what club was that? Upstairs, and it
was like their CBGBs. Like the Boston's version of CBGBs.
Cantones? No,
not Cantones. No. Not Streets.
It'll turn up.
Fuck. I'm not computer savvy, so I don't want to touch anything.
These things. Oh, the Middle East? Nah, I don't know. Hey, Paul Kostabi, what's up, man? Middle East? I think Middle East is downstairs.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of the place.
It'll turn up.
Yeah.
It'll turn up.
Hey, do you remember this Boston band? The Beautiful opened up from what were they called? Slaughter Shack.
Yeah, they were sort of
White Zombie-ish. Remember that with the dreadlocks and stuff like that.
100%.
Yeah. So we opened up for them in Boston somewhere.
Yeah.
We played with the Neighborhoods a bunch. We played with them up there. We played with them here at Cat Club.
The Neighborhoods were great. The Outlets were great. They
I don't remember the Outlets.
The Del Fuegos were great. I saw a lot of. Cool, even though I was running with sort of the Boston skinhead Boston crew, we loved some of those bands. The Outlets, the Neighborhoods. Lou Miami and the Cosmetics.
Did you ever see the Real Kids? Did you ever get to see the Real Kids?
I never saw them. No. Yeah, Slaughter Shack was great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was You see, they were great. They were like I remember when I saw White Zombie, I was like, wait a minute, isn't that band Slaughter Shack? Because it was they had a lot of that with the dreadlocks and the ripped up clothing and stuff like that. Had that vibe too.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm just looking for. Where is my? Have you seen, and now that I see that Josh is out there, have you seen your Hardcore Legends trading card? Have you seen that?
Hell no. Yeah. That's new. Dude, you know whose drum set that is? I'm not, you know what?
Let me guess.
I'm not supposed to talk about this, actually. I can't believe that's so cool. Who made that?
Don't get yourself in trouble.
I know. Who made that?
What is that?
Dude, that's great. Dude.
Well, that looks like a very old Rogers kit.
I can't say whose kit that is because it's supposed to be a secret.
Oh.
That's great.
Oh.
So I guess they must have gotten that picture from my Instagram. I did put it on Instagram, but I can't really talk about that. But
don't say anything that's going to get picked up by Blabbermouth.
No,
and then...
I won't. But if you have me back on like later in the summer,
okay.
Oh, actually, so if you have me on back later in the summer, I could talk about that whole thing. But that drum set is super special. Maybe some of your viewers will know where that kit comes from, but that kit is very special. And I'm not supposed to be talking about it.
Well,
so you didn't hear it from me.
I don't want to ask him because someone will know, and then the shit will come. And here
you know what? I mean, I'm not going to talk about it because I was asked not to talk about it. But if somebody else figures it out, somebody else figures it out. Look at that.
Here's the back of the card, which is really friggin' awesome.
Dude, can I get one of those?
Yeah, Joshy, reach out to Frank on Instagram. Josh will reach out. Yeah, he says it was on Instagram.
Oh, Anita Nazario. Well, you got Anita Nazario on there. That's great.
Yeah. Honky Toast, the.
Yeah, the. Yeah. Mule Kick. Yeah, that's awesome. This is awesome.
Perry Ferrer.
Nana.
Yeah.
I just did that, Jesse Galante. I just did that. Yeah.
Carrie Underwood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because she came on and sang with us a few times. Yeah.
Oh, yo, shouting out our friends in Thailand. Welcome. And thanks for watching the show.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, I love that country. It's a beautiful, beautiful country, Thailand. Beautiful, beautiful people. Beautiful.
I bet. I think somebody just nailed whose drum set it was. I don't know if we should let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, you could say whoever. Because I'm not. I won't deny it, or I won't affirm.
Looks like a Marky Ramone kit.
I can't talk about it. But I will say that it's not Marky Ramone.
Okay, fair enough.
I will say that it's not Marky Ramone.
Yeah.
But
Joshy, reach out to Frank tomorrow or whatever. And you were wrong. It wasn't a Marky Ramone kit. Well, you know what? Let me. I'm going to put it up one more time and see if anybody else can take an educated guess.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, let me find it.
This is fun, actually. This is super fun because I've been dying to tell the whole world about this.
Really?
It's a project that it was super special to do, and I can't believe they asked me to do it. So, but have me back on, Drew, and we go huge on it later in the summer.
All right, here it is. Take a gander at it. Looks like a very old white Rogers kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, old school.
I will give you a small hint.
Okay.
It was on a very famous TV show once. Very, very famous TV show.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Here comes all bring the nonsense.
No, this is fun. This is fun, bro. This is fun.
Yeah.
This is fun.
That's
but I'm not talking about it.
Yeah.
But that's a great picture. I'm glad. I'm actually really happy that.
Oh, there's another one. Wait. There's which one is it? Okay. This one's a little bit different. I think he sort of makes it's like Mickey Dolenz.
Oh, that's a good guess. It's not, but that's a really good guess. That's a good guess, man.
Here's sort of a bonus. Is a bonus card. A GNR.
Yeah.
I like the other one. The other one's cool.
And if you notice, I have the trash and vaudeville.
Rest in peace, Jimmy Webb, right?
But that's a poser one because that has the 7th Street address on it. It's a poser one. It's not a St. Mark's one. But, I was like, what the hell, man? It's a poser one, but I still like it. I love. There trash,
you go. Yeah, Jimmy Webb. He was a sweetheart.
Oh yeah, Jimmy.
Nice guy, man. Really nice guy. Hey, let me take a sponsor break. Yeah, it'll be a couple minutes if you need to get up and go to the bathroom or smoke a cigarette or whatever. Cool. And I know you don't smoke, but I'll see you back here in a couple of minutes. And
how long do you think? Like 2 minutes?
No. It'll be 6 or 7 minutes.
Okay, great.
All right, I'll see you in a minute.
Thank you.
All right. There you go. Episode 420, the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Our guest today is Frankie Ferrer. And lots to talk about. We're going to talk about some Guns N' Roses in a bit, and we'll bring Lori Dawn back on. We'll get into it. I hope everybody's okay out there on 420. And now a word from our sponsors. Since 1992, Generation Records has been a mainstay of the New York metropolitan area music scene. Today, they offer a diverse selection of new and used rock, jazz, indie, hip-hop, punk, hardcore, metal, blues, soundtrack, and reggae LPs as well as t-shirts, posters, and other merchandise. They buy used record collections and music memorabilia and will pay you top dollar for them. House calls made for large collections in the tri-state area. Call or email generationrecords@gmail.com and follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
Will that be cash or in debt?
Do you mean debit?
Yes. Sorry. Another eternally satisfied customer.
Yo, what's happening? I'm out here at one of our all-ages Sunday matinees on the Bowery. I hope that you are enjoying today's show. I just want to let you know that the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live needs your support. Please step up. There is a Patreon page that has a lot of unique program. Shows are announced there first. Lots of good stuff. There's a PayPal address right there on the screen if you want to make a contribution. There's also a super chat function. You could do that, but the bottom line is this show exists because of your support. We're going to be doing it for a long, long time. Thank you for all your support through the years. Back to the show.
Conditioned by indoctrination, conditioned by society. You're a victim of the digital age, a 21st century casualty. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Conditioned by misinformation, it's just the media telling us lies. Decipher fiction from the truth, society's slow and tragic demise. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Everyone's got their phone.
And we're back. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, episode 420, right? Does 420 mean anything to you?
Nope. I don't know what that means.
I don't have a horse in the race.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I do not partake.
Yeah, I don't have a horse in that race anymore.
I can't do that anymore either. Yeah, no, it's just you get to a point where you're just like, yeah, I'm too old for this.
Not going through life stoned anymore.
Yeah.
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 Let's go. You and I go through upcoming shows. A week from today. 1 week from today, actually. Yeah. We will be celebrating the Agnostic Front Echoes in Eternity album with Vinny Stigma, the godfather of New York hardcore, Mike Gallo, bass player, and Mike Dijon, producer.
Yeah,
so
I'm really glad you're having Dijon on. That was an excellent album. Excellent, really elevated.
A couple days later, speaking of drummers, Bill Stevenson from the Descendants, All Black Flag and Flag, celebrating 40 years of I Don't Want to Grow Up.
Yes.
Then you will be co-hosting. We're going to get into some metal.
Yeah.
Some metal.
We're gonna actually do like a big swing of things here because it's going to be metal and also big band music.
Yeah, that's right. Not only is he in one of the all-time great thrash metal bands hailing from Staten Island, but he is Overkill from Staten Island or Jersey?
No,
or kind of.
I think they're from Jersey.
Jersey. Okay.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So you're co-hosting that.
Yes.
Then Brian Ferrer is coming on, and I promise that we will not just talk about the Grateful Dead when he comes on the show. So,
you can promise it, but
chances are it's going to be 2 hours of me and Brian talking about the Grateful Dead. This is cool. Director Scott Crawford and producer Paul Rackman coming on to talk about Something Better Change, Joey from DOA's documentary film.
Fantastic.
So that's a cool one. Wayne from Hatebreed on Sunday, April 19th. Gary Lucas, we still have to confirm this, but this one's floating out there. We might have to kick the can down the road, but we have somebody else ready to step in. Curse Mackey.
Finally, Joel Ghostin gets in there and does his co-hosting duties.
Yeah. Yes, he's was bandmates with him in Pigface, Apparently, very interesting character, Curse McKay. I have to read his book, The Sound Philosophy. So, homework. But of course, everybody knows how I read books now, right?
Yes. It's just through osmosis.
It's.
There you go.
I love it. I love Jesse Mallin's new book. It's fucking awesome. Go out and buy it.
Got to do that speed reading.
I've read it twice. I've read it 3 times. I've read it 4 times. Yeah. Drew the Magnificent. That's right. I actually read every book. Anybody comes on the show has a book. You better believe I read that friggin' book.
Yeah.
And then, actually, this is being the record label Incendiary Device. They're dropping the album cover Friday, and then we can officially announce all this stuff that actually has the album cover on it.
Perfect.
So, trying to not piss off the record label by posting shit with the album cover on it before the album is out. So
and you'll be interviewing yourself on that show.
Kinda. It'll just be like me, the band, all kinds of characters. It'll be basically a circus.
It'll be fun.
It'll be a circus.
Yes.
So what label's it on? Europe is Demons Run Amok, and America is Creep Records out of Philly. And the pre-order will be going up, and you can't miss it.
Do you have any color vinyl coming out with that?
Yeah, it is. The fucking the variant with the fucking variant. I don't know.
The variants.
Tristan and them like get up on who did the album cover. I'll tell you what, my friend, tune in on Wednesday, May 6th to find out who did the album cover, who produced it, what the songs are about, and how much we care about each other in this band. So
exactly,
yeah, we really like each other. We were just rehearsing last night, and it's like I really like the guys in my band.
Yeah, it's solid.
We like hang out. It's like there's not like that one guy that like shows up 5 minutes late, leaves 5 minutes early. So will there be a scratch and sniff version? Yes. The record is called New York City, and there will be a scratch. If you scratch and sniff it, it does smell like dog poop. There's a couple variants. There's the dog poop variant. I
want the hot dog one.
There's the hot dog one. There's the human subway urine variant where you get you scratch it and it smells like whiz.
Yes. There's the vomit variant.
There's the vomit variant, right?
Comes with a splatter vinyl.
and there's a sub variant from the vomit variant. There's like the pizza vomit. There's the Jack Daniels and Coke. Right. All right. We're heading down a dangerous path here on 420. And there's the New York City street marijuana variant. So that's said. All right. I'll see you in a bit. And we're gonna march on with our guest.
Yep.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, once more. Frank Ferrer.
That was a great conversation. I was just eavesdropping.
Me and Lori could just sort of wing it and carry on for a while. There's the dirty snow colored vinyl. That's right.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Oh, that picture that you showed earlier that's the image of winter that I have in my mind about New York City. Like the snowfall, people like have all these great pictures to see them all but that's only like the first 27 minutes.
Yeah.
After that, man, is that picture that you showed before.
This one here. This reminds you of growing up down in Chelsea when the streets it would be like this until the middle of summer.
And then they can't collect the garbage. So it's like that. The mounds of garbage too. It's like, forget about it. Oh, dude,
I remember your neighbor. I remember your neighborhood down there.
When the meatpacking district was an actual meatpacking district, and like in the summertime, the smell of rotting meat that would woof through the neighborhood. Oh,
Did they
horrible.
build that big Covenant House building while you were living there? Remember the one right on 9th Avenue with the circle with the round windows?
No. Oh no! Are you when you're talking about it's Covenant House? Of course, you're talking about the Maritime Building. The Maritime Building. Yeah, I grew up right across the street from the Maritime Building. That was there. You know, I mean, my whole life ever since I can remember. Yeah. But in the where Tao is, used to be Hero. Remember, Hero was there.
100%.
I played with Ferrer there in Hero one time.
Wow.
So downstairs,
that's a trip. Across the street from where you grew up. That's awesome.
My mom was there. My mom.
Oh, that's awesome.
And actually, my mom was not there. My mom was because Guns played there. Guns played a Hero, and my mom came to that. Yeah, but that used to be a movie theater.
Really?
Yeah.
That building, or they tore it down?
In the basement was a movie theater, and my mom took me to go see a couple of cartoons there, if I remember right, like Hansel and Gretel. There was kind of like one of those stop motion movies, but they actually had a movie theater down there when I was growing up in the Maritime Building.
Crazy. Another people are guessing on that drum set.
What's the guesses?
Thomas Erdeli. That's Tommy from the Ramones. We're not going to say anything about it.
I'm not saying anything.
I'm not saying anything. All right, let's continue on our journey here. So from left, I'm not saying it.
But it's a project that we're working on that it's gonna everything will come out at towards the end of the summer. It should all be out. But yeah,
good shit. So sort of the timeline, Love Spit Love, like you said, you get pulled in with the Pssr,
right?
And Richard's in the Pssr. Right. Was Richard in Guns while he was in the Pssr, or did he?
It was right before Richard joined Guns. I could be wrong about the date. I think he joined Guns in 2002.
Right.
But I'm not 100% sure.
That makes sense.
Right.
That makes sense.
But he would have been in Guns like soon after that. After that we did the first dates.
Are you at liberty to kind of talk about like how did you get the call for Guns? Was that an exciting time?
Yeah, we could. Yeah, totally. So Tommy Stinson was in Guns from the Replacements.
Sure.
So when Tommy had a couple of solo records, so what he would do is when he would show up to a town, he'd pick up a band, So whenever he would come to the East Coast, he'd pick up obviously Richard Fortas would play with him because they were already in Guns together. And then Richard got me to play drums and Winston Roy, this amazing bass player, to play bass. So we did a few gigs with Tommy on his solo record on the East Coast. We played in New York and a couple places, and then we went down to Philly and played a couple of gigs down there. So that's how I got to know Tommy. And then when Brain in the 2006 tour, he had to take a break because his wife was about to give birth in the middle of that tour to his kid. So he wanted to take about 2 weeks off, which would have been like about 4 or 5 shows. So I got the phone call to say if I wanted to fill in those 4 or 5 shows. Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, maybe. I think I was like, "Are you kidding?"
How does that call come in? Like, hey, excuse me, hon. Tommy Stinson's. Let me step outside and take this. Hey, bro. This thing's coming up. Are you down for this?
Dude, I remember it like it was yesterday. My daughter was having a talent show. She was like 6 or 7 at the time, and my son was just born. So I see my phone ring and it says Tommy Stinson. I was like, oh, I better let me just take this. So I wheeled my son out in the carriage, and I get on the phone, and Tommy's like, hey, we have rehearsals in the city. It was like sometime in May, and he's like, you might want to learn a bunch of Guns N' Roses songs. That's all he said. He didn't say like, hey, this is good. He's like, we're going to be in rehearsals at SIR. Remember SIR? It's not there anymore. 25th Street. We're going to be at rehearsals. You should come by, but you should learn a few Guns N' Roses songs. So I did. I tried to learn the whole record. But what's funny is that I didn't have time to learn the whole record. So I just learned some of my favorite songs. And we actually played some of my favorite songs. So it was perfect.
As fate would have it. And then you kind of do those shows, and then they
I basically stayed on. Brain had his child, brand new baby. He wanted to stick around longer with the wife and the baby. So he was like, hey, as long as Axel's happy, let Frank carry on. So I just carried on, and Axel was happy. So yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. And then Brain started doing more producing and composing for like video games and stuff like that, and for movies and stuff. So he just wanted to keep doing more of that. Again, he had a little baby he wanted to stay home with, so he started doing more of that, and I just stayed on,
And you played on one of my absolute favorite Guns records, which is Chinese Democracy.
Wow.
I love that. I love that record. I love
that's
that.
Cool.
Yeah, I love it. And one of my all-time favorite songs, If the World.
That's a great song.
Yo, that's a great song, bro.
Yeah. I mean, everybody should give that record a listen, because it got a bad rep coming out of the box, but the record is pretty slamming.
I love that record. Yo, anybody out there, yo, with a fresh head, check out Guns N' Roses' Chinese Democracy. Check out the song "If the World." It's an incredible song. That song really resonated with me. I mean, at the time, I was raising a kid and living up in Vermont, sort of very isolated. I was very, very, very sort of like living a bit of an isolated life for a little while there. I was traveling the world making films and stuff, but my home base was like on the side of a mountain. Like I was a bit isolated. And I think that record was released on CD really like exclusively through Best Buy or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it was a very strange kind of thing. There was a Best Buy like 45 minutes from me in civilization. So I drove to the Best Buy and I bought the CD, and it's all I listened to for about a month.
Wow. Well, that's cool. That's a cool story. Yeah. I went with my mom to buy it. My mom and I went to a Best Buy to buy it. Yeah. Great. She bought a CD and I bought the vinyl. I wanted the vinyl.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, and I guess it was they made a great deal and they shipped exclusively to Best Buy.
With Best Buy.
But I mean, just I know we sort of have to be, we want to be cognizant of what, but any thoughts looking back, any fond memories, special memories, and anything you can implore on us that now that you have a little bit of sort of space looking back?
I have a lot of great memories. A lot of people that I love very much are involved with Guns, still are, that people that I care about deeply. The shows at Madison Square Garden, my mom and my sisters, and you mentioned Mr. Gomez, my kids were there. Everybody got to see me play. So obviously I have tremendous love, and the fans are wonderful. The band is great. Those guys are great. Axel treated me. He changed my life. Axel changed my life. Again, he saw something in me. He turned around, saw me on that drum riser. It was like, this guy needs to stick around, So I have a lot of fond memories, and I'll always be grateful to Axel and his family, for giving me the chance to get up there and play. Richard Fortis for always thinking of me, and Tommy Stinson also for thinking of me when that time came. Brain. The day that I got there to start rehearsals with the band, Brain sat me down and we had this beautiful one-on-one talk about what to expect and how to approach things. And he gave me a great bit of a piece of advice. He's like, the most important thing and the way this thing is going to work is like, you learn all this music and you play all these songs, but try to make them your own. If you could try to make them your own, if you could find a space to be in where you feel like it's your own music, that you're playing your own music. That's the only way to approach this thing. So he gave me beautiful advice, again, changed my life. GNR changed my life. So
that's great advice. It's sure you're joining something that's incredibly established, but of course make it your own.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. That's how I saw a couple of those Gun shows when and I was there cheering you on, and it was great to see a homegrown musician, get the call. Those were incredibly long 3-hour shows. Just sort of, how did you prepare for something like that?
Yeah.
I know you already mentioned, you don't drink,
Right.
did you develop sort of a regiment?
I did. Actually, I did.
Tell
I
us
did.
about it.
And it took a lot of like trial and error, obviously, but basically a lot of rest. Basically, it's a lot of rest. I during COVID, I changed my diet and all that kind of stuff, so I was a lot healthier after COVID. But get to bed early the night before. Again, the main thing is rest, man. I can't say that enough. Get a good night's sleep. I would call them school nights, when the nights before I had a gig, I would call a school night. So I would do my school night thing, have an early dinner, get to my room, Netflix, watch TV, just Netflix, close the world out, and try to be asleep by 9 p.m., 10 p.m., and then again, if I got on the drum riser, man, before a gig, and I would look down and see my set list, I would totally psych myself out. I would be so intimidated. I'm like, but half the time, you're like, I don't even know these songs. You're a music. You're like, wait a minute, what am I doing now? So, little things like that, like get up on the drum riser. I started doing instead of drinking cold water on stage, I started drinking hot water and lemon. So I always stay warm. A lot of time the arena gigs, were like they have a hockey rinks, the ice, and they would build the stage, everything on top of the ice, but it'd be cold as hell in there, hot water, lemon, tons of water, and like I said, plenty of rest, tons and tons of rest.
Did you do anything on your? Because I know. A lot of times you had days in between. Did you exercise and stuff on days between, or was that like just a freaking rest day?
No, I would. I try to have a routine. I love walks, long walks. Listen to podcasts. I know it's kind of cheesy, but I would try to get 10,000 steps in every day. Stuff like that. I would hit the gym. Like when we were like in cities and stuff where you kind of like couldn't really walk, you hit the gym and do the treadmill, but yeah, again, I would obviously I wouldn't go skateboarding or riding a bike or anything like that on my days off.
Or riding motorcycles or scooters or playing basketball. You
do like, sightseeing. I love taking long walks and going to vintage shops. I know that's kind of, again, I love, that's how I would spend my days off usually,
Yeah. I'm a big walker. I walk every night. I do a couple miles, and that's really at my age has become my exercise and how I stay in shape. I eat dinner and then I head out.
That's cool. I've done a couple times at night. I usually like to do first thing in the morning, but I've done a couple times at night.
I usually eat and go out. I make calls. I walk, like we talked about, Riverside Park. I walk right up Riverside Park.
If I ever move back into the city, and me and my partner we fantasize about it all the time, we would definitely want to be in the Upper West Side, be between Central Park and Riverside Park.
Come on up. Hobo Cake says Nile Rodgers documents his daily walks. He walks every day, no matter what the temperature is. I actually follow Nile. I see Nile. He kind of does a walk and talk. Nile does like a walk and talk.
I do hate the cold though. I do.
Oh yeah, you've had enough.
I had enough.
All you Cuban guys with the cold.
And I know, born and raised in New York City, dude, I never got used. And especially like you grew up in an apartment and stuff. It's always hot in the apartment, so you don't really understand. Not until I bought this house did I realize what cold was. Because even you could have the heat up to 80, and it's still brick, bro. Brick all the time.
I'm in my apartment with one of those radiators that you cannot tame. It just right. You can turn the valve off and it'll still friggin' it's rough. Liceman 67 says, my brother. I'm not sure who Iceman. Am I your brother, or is Frank your brother? Yeah.
He looks familiar. I can't tell from the picture. It's kind of little. He looks familiar.
Yeah. Hoboken, what's some of the memorabilia that's behind Frank?
Oh,
anything special back there?
Actually, yeah. You know what? And let me just take my ears off for a minute. I'll bring some of my favorites over. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hey, I'm going to do a quick sponsor break. You know what? Let's do a quick sponsor break here as Frankie's getting some stuff and get ready for your questions from around the world. So let me do a quick sponsor break. Frank will be right. I'll bring you right on. This is a good opportunity to do it. Grab whatever you want to grab, Frank, as I do this. Yo, what's up? It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by blah, 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 and She-Devil's Coven, prominent female-owned business based out of Wallingford, Connecticut. Owner Rachel King Keys comes in force, being extremely versatile and multi-talented as a candle maker, traveling makeup artist, and event planner. She's established her identity as unique across the map since 2020. Be sure to catch her on May 3rd and 4th, debuting her biggest show yet, selling her goods in New York City at the world's famous makeup show located at the Metropolitan Pavilion on 115 West 18th Street. Be sure to follow her on Instagram and Facebook at She-Devil's Coven. Come on now, Joe Ramini. Here's one of his pieces right here. The Texas Silver Rush is a jewelry design firm and boutique store located at the birthplace of the Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. They specialize in working with musicians in all music genres, design and create unique one-off pieces, as well as the style and for stage, album covers, promo photos, and social media exposure. Their client list includes rock and roll Hall of Famers Greg Rowley, Ringo Starr, and of course, Agnostic Front. Information on online sales are being taken at their Facebook and Instagram pages, and of course, www.thetexassilverrush.com. Last but certainly not least, and let me get their show lined up that they have coming up. Minty Fresh Presents are a promotion company that put on hardcore metal shows at Locals Bar in Manalapan, New Jersey. Founded by Chris Gullis of Bulldoze and Frankie D'Angelis of Silence Equals Death, the shows are all ages with plenty of plea parking. The kitchen's open all night and the bar until 2 a.m. So basically, if you're out in Jersey and you're really looking for DUI, hang out at this place drinking until 2 a.m. and go outside and get in your car. Guaranteed DUI. If you're a band looking to play and you don't totally suck, or if you do suck but draw a fuckload of people, reach out to them at mintyfreshpresents@gmail.com. Ticket pre-sales for events are available at mintyfreshnewjersey.com. Check them out on Instagram at mintyfreshnj and help spread the word to support DIY hardcore metal in Central New Jersey. Minty Fresh Presents. I'm certainly not joking about driving under the influence. This show's happening on Saturday. I just might be out there. I might go out. Stack bill with Shutdown, Silence Equals Death from the Ashes EP record release, Overthrow from Long Island, Dead Shot, Surrender the Reppin', Bored Tired, and Stadium. And of course, mandatory, you better be at the A7, aka Niagara, this Sunday for our free all ages Sunday matinee. That said, let's bring our guests back on. What's up? All right, show and tell. What's up?
All right, so you showed that little snippet earlier of that little interview I did with Guns, the one that was like talking about my dad. And so my son and I are big Batman fans. So this was the Batman figure that I was fixing. He gave it to me because he was like, "Could you take something? Could you take Batman on tour?" So Batman was with me every single show until my last show with Guns in 23. So.
Set up on the drum set?
Yeah. I had. If you go back and watch that video, my drum tech, James, actually had a little stand for him, so he would sit there watch me play every night. So my son gave me this to take on tour. So
hey, let me ask you something. You mentioned your drum tech. I assume in a situation like that, having a solid, fantastic drum tech is paramount. Could you tell us about that?
James was definitely by far the best tech I've ever had. I've had some really great ones. Donnie Clay and Joe Slabby that's with Danny Carey now. He's been Danny Carey's drum tech for even back then in Lust for Love.
Sure.
I've had some, but James was the best. First off, he's a wonderful human being. He's from Long Island, wonderful human being. Mm-hmm. Super meticulous. He invented ways of doing stuff. Like he had my cymbal stands with these giant springs tied to the drum riser, so the cymbal stands will have like movement for for resonance and stuff. They weren't super stiff, but they wouldn't go anywhere.
Sure.
He would weigh my drumsticks, so I could look down on my drumsticks and see 32, whatever, not ounces, whatever they were, the 32, 33. So if I wanted to pick up a lighter stick, I could look down at my. I might have some sticks with the numbers on them, so I could look down on my drum bag and see a light stick, so I could grab it by just looking at the butt. He would write the weight on the butt.
Sure.
The heads were always great. The tuning was always great. The cymbals were, every time I got on stage, was bright, shiny. I mean,
it must be exciting to get on stage in a football stadium and just have your tools just really minted out.
No, it's killer. And then there's some songs that I play to a click track, so he would turn them on and off for me, because sometimes they'd be like in the middle of a song, like Rocket Queen in the middle jam part. I used to play to a click track, so I would speed up. Oh yeah. Little things like that. Just
what else was played to a click? What, like Chinese Democracy?
Yeah. Some of the newer stuff, right? Yeah. More of the Chinese stuff was played to a click. A lot
I
of
could
that
see
stuff.
that. Yeah.
And then there was click stuff just for me. So I won't speed up, and like You Could Be Mine, for example, is the perfect example, because when we get to that last verse, that third verse, that gallopy kind of verse, that could take off, it just energy wise, it could take off. So I would play that song to a click to make sure that we didn't like take off at that point, stuff like that. Just little things,
Night Train played to a click?
No, not Night Train. No, not trains. No. Yeah, no, that's all. That's ass.
Let's go.
That's ass all day. Night Train.
Woo.
Yeah. And and the punk rocky stuff, not click to that. It was always to me. I just needed click stuff. In places where I didn't want the tempo to shake, and like I said, like the middle of Rocket Queen and stuff like that, just little parts, and the jam part, because we'd go on forever while Slash is soloing and stuff like that. So I just didn't want to take off,
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Because I'm my playing style, I always try to lock into the best groove. I can finally, there's some songs that you're having such a good time, you just don't want to lose that pocket,
Yeah.
But it was just in little parts.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, James is a wonderful human being and a great tech. And he's with the drummer now. He's with Isaac now. So he's happy and everybody's happy. So it's cool.
Anything else from the show and tell?
Yeah. I got a couple of things that I'm kind of proud of. So, we talked about the New York Dolls. I love the New York Dolls. So this is my favorite Kiss picture, because they try to be like the New York Dolls. And this one I got signed. I got Peter sign it. I got Paul sign it. I don't know if you can see it that well. Paul signed it with a pen. And I got Gene to sign it. So this is one of my favorites.
That's almost like Wicked Lester, right?
That's exactly what it is. Wicked Lester. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. I got my Cookie signed this for me.
Oh wow.
Sex Pistols. Isn't that great? I found this in a vintage. Remember I was talking to go to vintage shops? I found the picture in a vintage shop. It was like, it has water damage. I don't know where it's from, but I got Cookie to sign it for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I love Pistols. My Gen X. I got Billy and Tony James to sign this for me. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, those are some of my favorites.
Yeah.
I have a Sex Pistols one in there. I have the Pretenders one in there, signed by the band. So,
yeah, they're playing New York this summer,
dude. And then I just want to tell you this. Just, dude, the reason I play music is because I'm a fan. A fan, and I get a chance to play with some of my favorite musicians and bands, So that's that's why. So I get my stuff signed, dude. I'm just like everybody else, man. I get my stuff signed, bro.
That's awesome. Hey, what's going on? I see this. Is this? I think I just hosted a tour in this place. Isn't this the Rock and Roll Punk Rock Museum?
Vegas. Yeah. I did that last year for my birthday.
Were you hosting a tour? Or were you
No, I just went on my own.
Yeah.
They hooked me up, though. They hooked me up to, I got in. They were super nice and generous and showed me around. But no, I was on my birthday last year. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You guys, last year. Okay.
Oh, yeah. In 2025.
Because didn't Guns do like a Vegas residency at some point?
We did that with the Chinese Democracy version.
Oh, that's going way
we did
back.
a couple of times. Yeah, way back.
Yeah.
Way back. The only thing about I love that place. I can't wait to go back. But the New York section was just too little. Oh, and I'm supposed to mention this. So, you know, I've been playing with Sonny Vincent from the Testers, right?
Uh-huh.
He can't believe that the Testers are not in the rock and roll and in the punk rock Hall of Fame. They were one of the first real punk bands, like 74, 75, kicking around, you know, one of the first real ones. And he wanted me to mention this to you, Drew, that he feels like he was playing fast, hardcore stuff too back then before a lot of bands are doing
in the Testers.
In the Testers, yeah. I mean, Sonny's is an insane, great songwriter, great guitar player. Testers were really super fast and nutty, dude. It was a great band. Great band.
I think that kind of segues into like, what's the future hold for you? Like looking down the road a little bit, like hopes and dreams for the future.
Well, yeah, so I'm taking this opportunity and trying to play with as many different musicians as I can, and mostly I love playing with like musicians from like Europe and the UK. So I've been doing that lately. I've been working with Johnny Griparic that plays in Slash's solo band, and Connie Bloom from Electric Boys, and then I've worked in another band with Russell from a Band of Skulls. So we've been playing with different musicians, trying to, I'm just trying to spread my wings a little bit, meet more people, experience a lot more different cultures, Later on in the summer, though, I think I'm going to be filling in for Zach in the Psychedelic Furs for a little while.
Right on.
So I might be doing that later in the summer, which I'm kind of excited about playing with those guys again. So
that's cool that like you, Zach, maybe even Sterling, maybe it's like it's all, hey, I can't do it, but Frankie could
totally.
give Frank a call.
I mean, and those I do, Drew, and we talked about this earlier, like, that's like, I mentioned Phil Rudd and Charlie Watts. I mean, dude, the New York guys, man, Steve Jordan. I mean, I got to see and be around some of the greatest drummers in the history of music right here in New York City, man. Sure. So it was so special, again, being around those guys, growing up in the city. I mean, I lucked out, man. Lucked out.
Hey, we just, let me see, we just had some fun together a month or two ago. And that's what kind of set this whole thing into motion. We did this thing, this Stones thing down at the Bowery Electric at Jesse's place. And that was a lot of fun. We did, I sang Neighbors.
Neighbors was great.
Yeah, that was fun, man. We had that was fun.
That was great.
That was a fun night. And,
that was one of the most fun times I've had in a long, just being around fun people, fun musician playing fun music. It was, and now I think I'm jumping on and doing some songs also at the Clem Burke one. That's coming up too. So,
right, the Clem Burke tribute thing. I think is coming up. A memorial tribute. I think is it next month or this month?
It's in March. It's the 25th and the 26th. Yeah. And again, I love playing with New York musicians. I love the New York vibe. I mean, that's the cool thing about what's happening around in New York right now. And I know it's kind of like New York is kind of edgy and it's kind of like, it's a little weird right now, but that kind of like that grime thing is kind of like kind of seeping back in a little bit. You can see
100%, bro.
If you ride the subways, you see it. It's
which I
like,
do.
So
which
I
do.
I came for Christmas time in 2020, COVID time. I drove from LA. I drove out to New York.
Wow, that's a drive.
Dude, New York was, it was 100% 70s New York. I mean, there was hardly, and all the mom and pops were open, all the bodegas were open. None of the big, fancy stores, they were all closed down. There was only New Yorkers in the city. It was an
interesting
awesome
time.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
It was an interesting time. I mean, in a lot of ways, and not I know there was a lot of tragedy and a lot of sad, but in a lot of ways, I enjoyed the pandemic. This show started during the pandemic.
Oh,
and
okay. There we
got
go.
an incredible audience right off the bat. And for me, it was a chance to sort of take a deep breath and recalibrate.
And that is such a New York story, dude, because all our favorite music always came out of something that was kind of like New York in the 70s, always comes out of sadness and tragedy. There's always this kind of phoenix of like art and music and ideas, And
my dad says, the only thing about, wait, hold on. I have the let me put up the little Arnie Stone thing. Here you go. Words of wisdom from Arnie Stone. The only thing about New York that remains the same is that it's constantly changing.
Right.
That's one of my dad's.
Arnie Stone.
It's a good one. Did you play with Buckethead in GNR?
I didn't. It was Bumblefoot. Also East Coast guy. Bumblefoot, New Jersey. East Coast guy. Ron Thal. I saw Ron's first show at Hammerstein Ballroom when he played with GNR. Oh, I was there for those shows. I didn't play, but I was there for those shows.
I was there the first night, first show. And I saw him in the lobby. I said, bro, congratulations.
That's great.
That's great. Congratulations. What else? We're just taking a couple questions from around the world as we head down the home stretch. Favorite? Does he like any rock bands that perform in Spanish? I'm assuming you did some traveling to Spain with Guns or anything like.
Well, I played with Robbie Draco Rosa for a long time. He's a Grammy Award-winning Spanish artist. He sings in English too. He was the lead singer of Maggie's Dream. Remember Maggie's Dream, New York City band?
Of course.
He was the lead singer. So I got to play with like La Lupita and Maldita Vencida. And Maná is great. I love Maná is really slamming. There was a couple like that. They're escaping right now. There's a few of them, but like I remember Café Tacuba were like a slamming ska punky fishbone-y kind of slam band, absolutely.
Cool. This is drummer stuff, but any new drummers you see that are really great, and anybody come across your radar screen at any point that you feel?
There is a lot of great new drummers. I got to see a lot of great. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I mean, I can't think of any. What was that? I don't know them. I don't know them. Giros de los Silencio. No.
Yeah.
How about the Zeros? Javier Escovedo, the Zeros.
Yeah. Right.
I can't think of anybody right now. I mean, obviously. So this is what I consider like a newer drummer. Like Abe from Deftones is out of control. Yeah. Danny from Tools out of control.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
I saw that King Crimson thing. I saw he was just that's doing the King Crimson thing with Vi.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, he's great.
He's
great. Yeah. Oh, good question. Thank you. What do you listen to that would surprise us?
Oh.
Like, is there anything that like really?
I don't think so. I don't think I listen to anything that would surprise anybody. I love the kind of music that I loved. My go-to is punk rock all day.
Wow.
And cool. especially any of that more, not so much the fast stuff, but more of the rock and roll stuff. The Boys and or the Thunders, the Heartbreakers. I love the Dolls. I'm kind of like stuck in a certain like era.
Have you ever played with Steve Conte?
Yeah. We just played at the Stones thing.
Oh yeah, right. Right. He was right. He came on after. Yeah, I got to get him on the show. I saw him. I saw him recently. I told him, listen, I'm gonna circle back and come and get
Company
you.
of Wolves was his band back in the 90s.
Did you geek out on the punk stuff with Duff?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Like I mentioned earlier, we went and saw that Walter Lore LAMF show. I went with Duff, Right. And then when the Pretenders when the Pretenders played with Guns, or when Generation Sex, remember that band Generation Sex played? Duff and I were just standing out there watching.
Generation Sex was like two guys from the Pistols and two guys from
Gen X.
Gen X.
Yeah.
Sure. 100%. Yeah, good. Oh, listen, you feel this however you feel. Can you spill if Ferrer was difficult to work with?
The night that we played, I played with him. It was me and Richard Fortis and I. Perry was DJing at this event at Hero, and at the end of his DJ set, he wanted to come up and do a couple of Jane's songs. So he was great. He came up and we did a couple of Jane's songs, mountain songs, stuff. So it wasn't like a gig or anything like that. He just jumped on stage and we played a couple. It was great.
Is that right? Frank's an amazing DJ. Are you DJing?
Michael Stewart.
Are you DJing these days?
Yeah, I've been doing. The beauty bar. That's Michael Stewart. He's the owner of the beauty bar. What's up, Michael?
Hey, Michael. What's up, man?
Yeah. You know him. Yeah. So I've DJed there a few times. You know.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Michael's great.
That's great. Right on, Michael. Yeah, maybe if you don't have a history with him, he won't hurt you. Well, listen. So, people. It's tough out there in the rock and roll world, and sometimes it's very stressful. Hey, one thing that I found pretty fantastic is you never got into drugs or alcohol. You never got in. That's incredible. Just growing up in that environment down there. That
I mean, alcohol and it's like I love the shit out of a margarita, obviously, you know. Mm-hmm. But it's funny because drugs were expensive when I was growing up.
Sure.
You know, I couldn't afford them. I mean, not that I wanted to do them, but like if I was inclined to do them,
sure,
you couldn't find them, or you couldn't afford them. And then when I joined the Beautiful, those guys were sober. Jonathan and at the time it was a different bass player, but Jonathan and Perry were sober guys. So my whole time in the Beautiful, we never drank, you know, because we were together the whole time. So we would play shows, and there wasn't like beers and stuff like that backstage, stuff like that. They weren't hardcore like straight edge guys. They just didn't drink, you know. So I didn't drink.
My perception with the Guns gig was always like you just have an incredible work ethic, and you don't show up at the station with a bunch of with baggage. I think my perception of you as a journeyman musician is you're solid, man. You know, you're getting a guy that's going to do his homework, know the stuff, and not show up with a bunch of considerations and problems. And you're going to treat it like the pro that you are.
Yeah, it's definitely that. I mean, that's the thing with Guns. Even though they had that reputation in the 80s.
Yeah.
It's a pro. It's a show. You know, I mean, you're playing in front of people that spent $300 on a ticket.
Yeah.
You know, you can't fuck up. You can't be a fuck up there. You gotta go up there and be professional. You know.
Yeah. As we kind of wrap it up, any places in your worldwide travels that has just become a beloved place for you? Like I just that maybe through your travels and touring that you just fell in love, you know, any countries, cities, places that you just really love now that maybe being in Guns or whatever or has given you the opportunity to check out?
But my favorite city in the whole wide world is Melbourne, Australia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's if you could imagine if New York and LA had a baby, it would be Melbourne, Australia.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've never been there. Yeah.
So that's my. I mean, obviously, I won't ever live there and stuff like that. It's super far, but it's the best of everything there. That's cool. The last time I was there, I was with Guns and got to see Nick Cave play there.
Yo, somebody just said interesting. Home of Nick Cave in the back.
Yeah. I got to see Nick Cave play there in Melbourne last time I was there. You know, I mean, I think it's the Australian people are beautiful.
That's awesome.
The weather. So you got LA weather, but New York City feel, New York City clicking, you know, grime, and it's great. It's perfect. That city. It happens to be on the other side of the world. Though.
Yeah, sure.
But I love Melbourne. You know.
So that said, hey, thank you so much for being a part of the show today. I knew it was going to be great. I knew it.
Thank you for having me, Drew. Thank you for thinking of me. This is sweet. I can't wait to see you, bro. Are you gonna be at the Clem tribute?
Yeah, I'll stop by.
Right,
I'll come down, and I was so excited to have you on. I knew it was going to be great. A fellow a native New Yorker who grew up here, and
Cool.
like I said, I've always been so happy for your success.
Oh,
You know,
thank you. Thank
being
you.
that we just, you know, we played the same circuit, and you know, we were in the trenches back in the late '80s, early '90s, and just to see you go on to just such incredible success with Guns, and I wish you all the best from here. So thank you so much. Is there anybody you want to thank? Is there anybody you want to shout out?
It was nice meeting Miss Laurie earlier. Your
Oh,
partner,
hold on.
Yeah.
Hey, Laurie.
Thank you
Hi, it's nice meeting you.
very much.
Yeah.
And thank you for pronouncing Long Island properly.
Long Island. I'm EJ. But no, thank you guys. I just want to shout you guys out. Thank you so much for taking the time and taking an interest in me, and I really appreciate the kind words, Drew. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'll be in touch. I'll reach out if you're coming to town with the Furs or whatever, and maybe I'll see you down. I'll reach out.
That'd be awesome.
All right,
Yes, sir.
thanks, Frank. Have a good night.
All right. Have a good afternoon, guys.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye.
That was a great episode. Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, I love it when the guest is just excited about everything.
I knew it was going to be great. I knew it was going to be
Excited
great.
about everything, and just
knew
a
it.
real true fan of music. It makes it, yeah.
I think it's we've talked about this many times on this show. There's like when I directed the Michael Alago film. It's really a story about somebody that just loves music.
Yes.
And that's the Alago film's not so much about the guy that signed Metallica and this and that. There's a bigger picture. It's about someone that just loves music, and people can universally relate to that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. And thanks everybody out there that chimed in. A lot of good questions and a lot of good stuff. So that was very cool.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Very fun.
And I got to remind everybody again, hey, the Chris Wren book event, this Friday, day after tomorrow, please, if you can, make an effort and come down to Generation Records at 6:00 this Friday. We're basically doing this show live because we're doing what we do on the show in a live setting. Chris was recently on the show, and we want to show some love. We want to show some love to Chris. And then this Sunday, free 16+ Sunday matinee in the birthplace of New York hardcore, A7, now known as Niagara, co-owned by Jesse Mallon. Non-residents, Why Die from Philly, The Long Wait featuring Jamie from SSD and Slapshot members and Wrecking Crew members, Chum Huffer with Sean Refuse, RBNX, The Pride of Hudson Valley, and Sid the Kid. So
Fantastic. Yeah.
that's what's going on. So all right, cool.
Yeah. It's a really great show. Really great
All
show.
right.
So
I'll see you soon, Lori. Thank you.
okay. Take
All
care.
right. Well, there you have it. Another one in the books. The New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Thanks a lot, everybody. We did good work here today. I'm really grateful, and I consider myself extremely blessed that I have such fantastic people in my life. Until next time, friends, do good things, and good things will come to you.
Conditioned by indoctrination, conditioned by society. You're a victim of the digital age, a 21st century casualty.